Hi everyone, it's John and welcome to another edition of Cozy, Charming, Crazy Real Estate, where we talk about everything real estate. Today we're going to look at 5 mistakes that residential rental applicants frequently make that make their rental application look less desirable compared to others. And whether you're applying for a single family home, an apartment, whatever, these are the most 5 common that I see as a property manager that I believe are easy to correct. So let's look at the 5. The first one is not having a budget and or applying for a property that you just can't afford in the eyes of the landlord, who has to make a decision and pick the most qualified applicant. Now, many landlords, depending upon the market where the property is located, are going to look to see that that rent is no more than either 30%, maybe 40% of your gross pre-tax income. So if you know that you're applying for a property that is 50% or more, the rent is 50% or more of your income, you are probably not going to be approved. Your application will probably not be approved because you just do not meet the landlord's ratios. Easy way to find out is to simply ask the landlord if they do have a minimum requirement, and then be truthful in your application or in your budgeting regarding whether or not you actually can make enough money to qualify. And it's not just making enough money to qualify, but it's also being able to prove you make that money. Another thing you can do that will get your application probably put towards the bottom of the stack is if you go on a website that advertises properties, you'll probably see that the landlord has posted the vacancy. They've listed a lot of information about it, including the rent and the security deposit and all the things that are included with the rent. A lot of information. Hopefully they've also put up some good pictures. But one of the things that these websites often do is they'll have a standard set of responses that you as an applicant can make to that landlord. And probably the worst one of all is asking for more info. If you do have a specific question for a landlord, use whatever function of the or feature of the system that you're viewing the vacancy on, and ask your specific question, but never say I want more info, because from the viewpoint of the landlord, they've put everything on the website. So if you have a question, make it specific, but don't use those general requests for information. It just doesn't sit well with the landlords. Another mistake that a lot of applicants do, based upon seeing again a standard response that is provided by the website, is to ask for an appointment to see the property, even though the landlord has specifically said they only show it at open house. And let me explain for a minute why many landlords only hold open houses and they don't do appointments. Unless the landlord is an on-site manager living or working during normal business hours at the property, that means that they have to travel to come show the property. It may be walking across the street, or it may be driving across town. It doesn't matter, but they have to set aside time in their busy life to come show. And unfortunately, and again, this is based on my personal experience and the experience of others, probably 50% of people who make appointments to come see a property are no-shows. And landlords don't want to be calling you and saying, where are you? If you don't show up, they're done with you. And if they put in the advertisement for the vacancy, hey, I'm only showing it at open house, that way they can set their schedule, and hopefully you can make it to one of their open houses. Do not ask for an appointment. Again, this is one of these things, they take your application, they put it at the bottom of the pile. They might not even respond because they figure if you did not see in the vacancy advertisement that it's shown at open house only, then they're kind of wondering if you're going to be even able to pay rent and meet the requirements needed to move in. So again, don't ask for an appointment if it says shown at open house only. Another mistake that a lot of applicants make is providing or asking if they can provide their own criminal background reports, eviction reports, and credit reports. Now, as a landlord, I understand that every time you run these reports, it costs you money. However, there is a lot of fraud in this business, not blaming you or anyone you know or anyone specifically, but there is a lot of fraud in the rental property business. And our last mistake, we're going to talk about that a little bit more, but for this mistake, do not offer especially a credit report that you have already run, because a landlord is going to consider that, well, you might have done something that would have hurt your credit report after you drew that credit report and printed it out. And that's why you're showing it. So they don't know you, so don't take it as a negative necessarily, but they want to draw their own reports at the time they're making their decisions and reviewing applications. So do not offer any of those reports. It's just the lay of the land. You're going to have to pay that $20, $30, $40, whatever the application fee is, because every landlord will want to draw their own reports. And so the last one, and this is one that has to do with fraud, and that is to offer cash for either the security deposit or the monthly rent. Not too long ago, a lot of landlords took cash payments for rent, maybe even a security deposit. A few probably still do today. However, there is a lot going on in the world of money laundering, and landlords do not want to get caught in those situations. So most of the time in our business, we only take cashier's checks. If you've been in the apartment or rental property over a month, a personal check, and we also take money orders, but under no circumstances will we ever take cash. Cash is a way that a lot of illicit businesses launder money, and most careful landlords do not want to end up in a situation where they're part of a criminal investigation. Therefore, if you offer cash, it automatically makes the landlord think that you may, not that you are, but that you may be involved in some kind of a money laundering scheme. Therefore, play it safe. Don't even mention cash. Again, there are a lot of online payment options available now. There's money orders, cashier's checks, and for trusted tenants that have at least made their first month or two of payments, usually a personal check. But again, don't offer cash. Just stay away from it. So those are the 5 mistakes and solutions to each one. And I hope that if you are out looking for a rental place, you will think about each of these 5, and this information will help you to put in a stronger and accepted rental application. So that's all for today. I hope you like this information. If so, hit like. We're going to be back again next week with another cozy, charming, crazy real estate. So please subscribe. If you have a comment or a question for a future video, please write it below, and we look forward to seeing you next week on Cozy, Charming, Crazy Real Estate. Take care.